Hello, friends. Christopher here, Analog Brain. This is a cassette update. Thrift store go to have the cassettes 5 for $1 or 35 cents each. Picked up a dollar's worth of clean copies. Man, I'm real happy on this. This one is you see a lot. Hearts self-titled on Capitol. This was huge for 'em. So real solid album. If looks could kill, what about love, never, these dreams, and that's just the first four songs on the side one. But you usually see this one out there in the wild, and it's so worn with the uh, writing that you can't read it. But this is a real clean copy. I've seen that before and passed on it. I'm glad to pick that clean copy up. Next up is Quiet Riot's third self-titled LP. This is the LP that the band finally let Kevin DuBrow back into his own band. He was shooting off his mouth a lot in the press about other bands, and I think everybody got tired of it, including the band. But this was on the Beige label. It's a real clean copy. Glad to have that in the collection. And then, of course, Billy Idol was huge in the 80s, and he released this greatest hits, but he did something different. He released this as a remix LP, and so every song on here is a remixed version of his hits. Um, and they were featured on 12 inches, so there's nothing exclusive on there that was unreleased, mixed, or anything. So it was really just a question of just taking those B-sides of 12 inch singles and just making a greatest hits package out of it. I've also found pretty neat this. Some of y'all might remember that if you ever bought an LP or a cassette in the 80s, uh, Craigslist had this thing tab attached to the rest of the cassette. And so you're supposed to tear this off and fill it out. And it had a serial number, if you could read that. And you were supposed to fill this out, detach it, and mail it to them. But I failed to understand what the purpose of that was, just to let them know that you bought an authentic cassette or release of theirs. And I guess there was a lot of piracy with cassettes and LPs back in the 80s. But I failed to understand what would motivate you to do that, to take time out to send it off to them to let them know. I mean, did you ever get compensated for anything? Did they send you anything other than probably just a catalog saying, hey, here's more stuff to buy from us? But next up is a blind buy. Since there were 5 for $1, I didn't see anything else I wanted or anything in good condition. So I picked up this Glass Tiger. I faintly kind of remember these guys. I think they had a one-hit single on the radio, and I want to say that they may sound a little bit like Honeymoon Suite, another Canadian band, and this is from Capitol Records in Canada, but it's a U.S. pressing. But Manhattan, I guess, was the Canadian outlet for the record label. I guess, yeah, Manhattan. But it's on the clear label, usually Canadian. If this was Canadian, it would be a black shell with white writing. But it'd be interesting to find out what exactly this is about. If it's worth it. For 20 cents, I'll take a chance. And then, of course, this is a release that was contractual. This gentleman, after he joined a big, huge band, had to make this LP to get out of his contract with his other label to sign with the other band. And of course, if you haven't guessed, this is Sammy Hagar, self-titled release. And if you notice on the spine, they have this artwork here. And this was the artwork for the record. And on the cassette, it was different artwork. And this was just labeled Sammy Hagar. And on the back is all the lyrics. But when this first came out, it was just titled Sammy Hagar. And he ran a contest for his fans and people who had bought the LP to enter the contest and to get to name the LP. And I forget what the prize was, but somebody evidently won. And I can't remember what the title was. But this is, like I say, probably one of the first 100,000 pressings of this cassette. So it just says Sammy Hagar. So I guess this is a semi-collectible cassette. And of course, this was produced by Sammy Hagar and Eddie Van Halen. And, yeah, Eddie Van Halen plays bass on this LP. Well, that's my update. Until next time, this is Christopher, the Analog Brain.